Hey, it's Ryan from Combat Off-Road. This will be your instructional video for the Battle Ready inner fender for your JK. It's 2007 to 2018. Part number is going to be 15-1069. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll go over everything needed to get these guys on your Jeep. All right, so tools needed for your inner fender, the 15-1069 for the JK. So you're going to need 5/32 Allen key. That's going to be for your M6 Allen head bolts. You're going to need a drill. This is our Can Cut Friends driver drill set, and any drill will work. 3/8 is the drill size you're going to need. You're basically opening up 2 holes on each side to run some brackets for the inner fender. And then you're also going to need a 10mm wrench. That's going to be just for the back side of the nuts. And that's going to be nuts and bolts here for assembling the inner fender panel. So back and forth. There is 3. I just put them together really quick just for the video, but we're going to take them back apart and show you how that works in the steps. And then you will need a rib nut tool. This is my go-to, especially from working on stuff with a lot of space outside. So basically, you're gonna have M6, so you're gonna set yours to M6. And that's what I'm talking about is the thread size here. This one is from our last video, it was M8. So obviously that will not work. So we'll need to change it to an M6. So that's about it for tools needed. So that's everything you're going to need. So you're going to need a 10mm wrench, 5/32 Allen key, 3/8 drill bit, a drill, and a nutsert tool, unless you want to use a manual one or make one up, whatever you want to do. And then I just have box cutters for tape and stuff. But if you don't need that, use your teeth. Okay. So I wanted to just talk about the hardware. Basically, I'll just go each side. You're going to have the weather gasket that's going to go around the perimeter once you assemble the actual inner fender. You're going to have 3 plates for the inner fender. So obviously the center plate, this will be your backing plate, and this is going to be your front plate, and that is the driver's side. So when you see lefts, L, it's always driver orientation. So my left always is my left, which is always driver's side. So you're going to have your left side brackets. And then just to check them if you want, you can stick them up inside one by one and just kind of get a feel for, you know, how it's going to fit in there, you know, so make sure you kind of got it figured out. But the left side is going to look like this. Kick out at the bottom, tuck to the top, and then that's going to be like that. The front side of the bracket, same thing. That's going to go inside here. And you're going to see how that tucks in there very easily, right? So that's going to be the look of the passenger side. And that's going to be, this is how it's going to set up. Okay, so we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 6 M6 bolts with nuts. Okay, so that's going to be your 5/32 and your 10mm wrench. And you're basically going to fasten those together. So you're going to need 6 for that. You have your weather stripping like we talked about. And you're going to have some speed nuts to pop in the body. We'll show you where those go. And you're going to have a left bracket for the left, right? And that's going to be how fasten the inner fender to the body. And then you're going to have this. So there's 2 of these are the same, so it doesn't matter. They're going to go the way they go, and you just need 1 per side. And it's all going to be M6 hardware. The nuts and bolts are for the panel. The nuts and the bolts and washers are going to be for the speed nuts and the rivets. So yeah, we'll get into that. So you're going to need a couple rivets. You have 3 speed clips. Oh, sorry, 4. And then you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 nuts or bolts washers, all M6. So that's basically the gist of the pieces per side. It's exactly the same on the other side, no differences. And okay, so step one is going to be, after actually unboxing everything, setting your tools out, get rid of the OE inner fender or any other inner fender you may have. So ours is ready. So that's step one, remove the inner fender. Okay, for step two, obviously find your left side panels, make sure the orientation's correct. And what you're going to want to do is get your M6 nut, sorry, I always say that, bolt washer. Panel goes like this, so you're going to cover the L. So this panel's on the forward side. We're just going to drop that through. So I would just start these by hand really quick. Oops. So I'll just throw one in really quick. Okay, so that's one is like this. You're going to find that panel in this orientation. That is also going to cover over the front. You're going to get the M6 bolt and nut. This has a bit of an adjustment, so you're going to worry about that later once you get the panel in place inside. But for now, I would just go and do those and snug those up, all 6 bolts. Okay, so that's the step. Okay, step 3, you're going to get your 3/8 drill bit in your drill. So ours are already done because the Jeep's old. We've had it for like 15 years. So basically you're going to find that forward hole here. Mine's already much bigger, but you're going to just want to open up to the 7/16 drill bit, okay? And then once that's open, you're going to grab the speed clip. You're basically just going to just toss it right there in place, okay? So that's where you want the speed clip to go. So forward hole, it's already there. You're just opening up to 3/8 and you're going to throw the speed clip on it. Oh, sorry, 3/8, not 7/16. So you need a 3/8 drill bit. So no big deal. So we got 3/8 drill bit. I'm going to show you for reference. So that speed clip right there, that's going to be where you fasten the inner fender, just for reference. And then this cutout is to support this brake line, so you know. So go to the brake line, see the hole, open up to 3/8, put the speed clip in, and that's part of where you're going to fasten it. So that's going to be that step. All right, so next step, optional if you want. We have some weather stripping included. You basically can feed it along the top. It's roughly starts in and around where this kick out starts, and then just below here. So it kind of depends on how you feel about it, but basically if you just get it along the top edge just to buffer between the body and the inner fender, that's up to you. Yeah, so that's kind of the next step. So that's fully ready. These are now tight. Weather stripping's on. We're ready to install that. So we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so next step, you're going to find this bracket. Okay, so and then you're going to want the speed clip orientation to go like this for the driver's side. Okay, so we're going to have bolts coming this way and bolts coming this way, but we want that kick to kick forward, and I'll show you where it goes. So basically, if you're opening that hole to 3/8, just give it a little more room. You're going to grab this bracket. You're going to face it this way, so I'm just going to sneak in here a little bit. All right, so you're going to put that in front, and then all you're going to do is nut bolt washer this guy. I'm going to have to tighten this up, but just by hand to give you a good idea where that is. That's going to sit there. You're just going to want to snug that up. And that's the orientation of that bracket. Okay, just recapping on this, just the step we just talked about, which is that forward bracket. So I have the forward bracket now fastened in there nice and tight. So I'm just going to give you an idea. So that bracket is for this hole right here. And obviously these guys go in like this. Okay, you're just going to fit that up in there. Okay, the next step, you're going to find. So my Jeep, unfortunately, I cut the metal out because we were running bigger tires and there's a lot of stuff changed. But you're going to have a little more metal down here. Okay, you're basically going to install the nutsert in about this area right here. That's going to line up with this hole right here. So this step is grabbing your nutsert tool, getting in there, installing your M6 nut, riv nut, and then once the M6 riv nut's all in place, you know, just visual, you'll have to visualize this with me, but M6 riv nut's in place. Now you've taken one of the M6 bolts, you've bolted this to the Jeep, and then you have this drop down bracket just like this, okay? So and that's gonna fasten in that hole. Actually, it's gonna be just like this. So here, if you want to look from the back side, just to give you a better idea. So that is going to be this location, riv nut, install. So then we go back to the body. That's going to be through here. And through here, and that's going to hold that inner fender location. So you're going to have inner fender bolt to the body from this bracket. You're going to have this speed clip that we put in right there. And then you're going to have this hole right here, which is that bracket we just previously installed as well. So that's how you're going to get that all fastened. So that's the step. Install the riv nut, install the bracket, and then we'll move on. Okay, final step for us is going to be washer, M6 bolt, and your 5/32 Allen. And we have the inner fenders all bolted together and ready to go. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck it all in here. I'm going to fit it up nice. I'm going to start the bolts by hand. And then I'm going to tighten it. So let me do that and then I'll show you final product. Okay, there you have it. 15-1069. That's going to be the rear inner fender for the JK. Like I said, our Jeep, we cut a lot out of there, but that would fasten the OE spot right there. That's in there. That's in there. We cut a ton out of here. But that's the look. That's what you get. Bolts up to all the OE locations. Stainless steel hardware. Removable backing plate. Looks good. So any questions, dump them in the comments or email us. If not, hope you get those in. Super easy to do. All hand tools, minus the riv tool, but you're using your hands, so it counts.